everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and ready to get back into the markets here starting Monday. It is, of course, another weekly market review for F45 trading. This week we are discussing March 29th to April the 2nd. So March is officially just about in the books here, and moving on to second quarter of the year already. Time flies when you're having fun. So real quick here, economic calendar. It is a short week this week, especially for, and when I say short week, we don't have a U.S. bank holiday, but it is Good Friday this Friday. Typically a lot of countries' banks close down. Euro banks, GBP, or UK banks, I should say, and then Canadian banks are closed. U.S. banks, looks like they're still open, business as usual on Friday. And then Thursday we've got, obviously, the Australian dollar. So we've also got non-farm payroll on Friday, so high-impact news events, and then the unemployment rates as well, too. So Friday is definitely not going to be a day that you're going to want to trade. One of two things is going to happen. It's going to be either be slow, not much going on, or it's going to be a crazy whipsaw day. So either way, I wouldn't recommend trading to Friday. Typically, Thursdays, what happens right before a NFP week, the markets go sideways, so I'm not a huge fan of trading Thursdays either. However, because of all the bank holidays going on the next day, they could elect to really move prices to kind of the desired algorithmic levels that they, price levels that they're driving for the week. So it could be a bit of a moving day, but I think it would probably be safe to say that all of your trading should be the bulk of Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know what it's going to be like after Wednesday this week. So just keep that in mind going forward. If you kind of start getting into trades past Wednesday and they're not working out the way they should be, that's obviously why. So I'd probably just move to the sidelines and wait until next week, and then we can get back to business as usual here. So this is what's on the calendar. We've got a pretty heavy impact economic news release day on Wednesday, and again, obviously, Friday NFP. So watch for that. Looking at the charts here, I'm going to keep this short and sweet tonight. I had a target of $93 to the upside on US dollar. We just about hit that last week as planned, and then we had a Friday that, so we hit that last Thursday almost. The high came in at 92.93, so it was about 6 pips off. 7 pips off, not too bad for a weekly range going straight up. And we've got a little bit of a pullback on Friday, your typical Friday pullback after a weekly bullish run. And then now we're opening the gates here on, well, I guess Sunday, the time of this recording, going into Monday's trading. We're just sort of right inside the range from Friday still. So there's just one thing I want to bring your attention to on the chart here on the daily. Now, more than likely, they're probably going to continue to push this higher this week. I think $93 even is going to get hit probably, maybe Monday, late day, maybe even into Tuesday. I like how they're driving things up, but I'd actually like to see them try to get above this old high back here. So this high here comes in at, on the 11th of November, and it comes in at 93.18. I'd like to see a move up to 93.20 if we could get that for a weekly target. Could be a nice little range. Now keep in mind as well too, I've got a fib on the chart here. I really want to bring your attention to this as well too. Typically you see price doing a lot of reversals or a lot of retracements between the 72 and 79% retracement level. As you can see right into here, we're pretty close to those levels right now. We already eclipsed the 72, and that's where we're kind of seeing price sort of stagnate. But I think we could see a drive right up. If you look at 79, it also coincides right with that high that I was talking about on November 11th as well too. So wherever that November 11th high is on your chart, mark that out. I think that's going to be the target, and possibly you could swing back down into the lows of these candles up into there. So that's the target I'm looking for. I'd like to see if we could sell off a little bit, but because it is, again, NFP week, short week, they could elect to just keep driving this thing higher. So if you look at the hourly chart, a lot of support in this area, I believe, is being generated from the Wednesday, Thursday range here. So we did gap open just a little bit to start the week off. We'll probably come back in, may sweep below these lows here, and might even hit this low here. But I doubt they'd come back into Wednesday's range. And again, if you go back out to the weekly range, so that the daily chart, sorry, this is that Wednesday range right there. I'd like to see if price can stay above the low from last Friday. You see that? And that's the high from back in here, the old high in there. A lot of confluence there. I'd like to see if we could touch back in on that and then reject to go higher if we see some sell-off. Now again, that's basically this line right here. We do have a little bit of a gap here, and we do have these equal lows right there. So I'd kind of expect them to run below, maybe get down to here, and like I say, it might touch down into this area in here. So just note that on your chart. If we do see a price start to run lower, I'm expecting that to probably, provide quite a little bit of, quite a lot of support, and then I'd like to see a bounce higher, targeting these highs, and then ultimately, if we can't get up into here. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for the US dollar weekly range. We'll see if we get that. What would change that is if price started to trade back down. So last week I said price was consolidating in here. We had Monday drop down, and I said I want to see it shoot above that and then possibly get above here. And that's, I mean, you can go back to last week's recording. That's exactly what we had. Beautiful range last week. And so this area in here was captured nicely. So that's completed there. What would change, again, this drive higher and change from a bullish stance to a bearish is if we came all the way back down and tried to get back into this area in here. Then I'd suggest probably some short-term weakness on the dollar. But barring that, I think you can probably tell if we start getting down there, we'd be going through this high in here. And, obviously this would be the target. So watch for that. But I think we're going to see bullish movement higher on the dollar. EURUSD. We had 1800 on the chart as a target. We got that very nicely last Thursday, and then again, same thing, but in the reverse of the dollar. We had a bit of a retracement on Friday up into there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I had a retracement in right here, so we could shoot higher again, same as the US dollar. I'd like to see if price can come, and I don't have it marked on the chart here. My apologies. But we got a little area right in here that has my attention. I'd like to see if we could shoot above, get back possibly into the low of that candle there, maybe into these lows here, and then sweep back down. We have this low right here at 117.45, which we just about got into last week, and it failed to do it. So we'll see if we want to get back down there again. Now look at this right here. This is very nice. See these two equal lows right there? That is definitely going to be the target on the downside, okay? So we'll see what we get. That's that area up into here. We'll see if we can run up and then shift the momentum back to the downside and then see price sell off and then possibly run for this low here and that low there on EURUSD. And I guess what would change this, obviously, if price started to go back up again, similar to the dollar but in reverse, if we started to move back above this area here in price, then obviously you can target the highs up into here, and then we'd have sort of a short-term reversal on our hands. So. But again, if you take a fib from low to high, you can also see that, price is right at that 79% retracement level. So it's right about at the level where it should reverse, very similar to the dollar. So if we do get that reversal, don't be surprised. But I think we're probably going to see at least one more stab down on a possible run below that low there. Now, GbpUsd, this thing has rejected this area in here. I was looking for a downward trajectory to 136.10. I think we could still get it. And if it is going to go any higher, it would have to get through this area in here. So I'm looking to see if this area provides any resistance to the upside and then a possible run lower. But if you look at GbpUsd, there's one characteristic that's a little bit different than EurUsd. And that's basically this run right here where we had all these equal lows and then a big stop run, and then price just quickly moved to the upside. So we'll see what they want to do. Now, just looking at EuroGBP real quickly, looking at this, I bet what they're going to do is leave these lows in here for now and then shoot price higher up into here, which, would possibly drop GbpUsd one more time to the downside, maybe. And then, sweep these lows here, and then it would, oops, sorry, I'm bouncing around too quick. And then hopefully it'll come after that. Like, this is what I'm looking for here is on EuroGBP. If we could sweep back up into this area here, run back up into the lows of those candles, and then shoot lower, that would send GbpUsd for one more run lower, possibly hitting the 136.10 level, and then going higher from there. But then that would also send a Euro USD up into this range that I mentioned, and then a possible swing lower. So we'll see if we get that. That might be a little bit too much to ask for, but I think looking at Euro and cable, definitely Euro USD is the weaker pair of the two. So I think this is a pretty easy trade personally, but we'll see sort of what the markets bring us. Australian dollar, same thing, right? We had price this low in here, came in almost exactly perfect at this last Thursday as well too, made an equal low. Stops residing under there. Looking like we're seeing a little bit of retracement higher now. I'm watching this area basically right where we're at, basically these lows right there, to see if they offer any support, and then possibly the lows of these candles in here. So if we do get one more little drive, I'd like to see if there's any willingness to go above this level here. But if you look what we did, you see price sold off, retraced back in, sold off again, came back up, popped above these highs, and then dropped very, very quickly after that. And now we've got two equal lows there. I think that there's a very good chance they're going to come back down for that. So very similar setup to Euro USD, and opposite obviously on US dollar. But I think the lower end of things is going to be the target on the week. And I like this area right here at 7,500, I think could be the target on the week. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. We'll see if we get that. If price goes above this red line right in here, we'll have to change our stance to bullish, and we'll see where price ends up on the week. But that's what I'm looking at there. And then USCAD, finally, very similar again, same thing on the US dollar, except the US dollar is much higher to the upside than what USCAD is. Usually this pair and US dollar, they mimic each other very, very closely. You can see USCAD really sold off compared to US dollar, obviously. The exact opposite happening. We had the end of February and all of the month of March pretty much going higher, whereas USCAD, we had, yes, a little bit of a run here at the end of March, or excuse me, the end of February, but then March was primarily bearish, which is not usually what the USCAD does. So markets aren't really in sync right now. I've got these highs up here. It could be a bit of a stretch to get up there. So I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a big fan of USCAD right now. The US dollar, this could be showing weakness, underlying weakness, while the US dollar punches up into this area, and then we could see another return to the downside, in which case you could see USCAD really starting to sell off. Lots of targets lower that I like down here where we could be getting down into, so watch for that. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to remain neutral on USCAD. I'm not going to pick a side on USCAD yet, just because of that. So we'll see what the markets give us. But if you're a USCAD trader, just hang in there. Just wait until the market kind of gets back in alignment with this one here before you want to really start stepping into any trades on that one. And then finally, crude oil. I shouldn't say finally. I'm going to look at gold real quickly. But crude oil, we've got a bit of a, if you haven't seen the news, bit of an issue right now with the current supply blockage going through the Suez Canal with that ship that was trapped in there, that jackknifed into the wall of the canal. And what that's going to do, it's going to hold shipments up pretty much worldwide. Now, there's a ton of marine traffic that goes through there, obviously, and a lot of them are crude oil ships as well, too. So what could happen, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, I think it happened Thursday evening, if I'm not mistaken, and then, Friday we saw a big push higher. We could see a real big jump on crude oil again, and them possibly trying to run this high out. So watch that on crude oil just while that ship is going. Now, the delay could be extended out a little bit, so we may not see it right away, but I believe we'll see that those numbers come in. And keep in mind as well, too, there are some OPEC meetings on, I believe it was Thursday or Friday of this week that we need to watch out for as well. So you can see this here, OPEC meetings all day on Thursday. So that will definitely move the market. So we'll see what we get. I think they could be playing up the narrative that, it's going to delay shipping and everything else. And so we could see a pump higher because there's going to be a bit of a draw on inventory while they're waiting for these ships to come into harbor and to offload their inventory. And so what that could do is push the price of crude oil higher. So we'll see how that works out. But for now, I think they could consolidate it until Thursday. They left all these lows in here. This is my target going forward, but for now, I think, again, on the upside, we hit our target. So this area in here was breached. So mission accomplished there. And I'm on the weekly, obviously. So this happened a few weeks ago. Called that months and months ago. And we've hit that target, and they had a nice sell-off here. They could come up and double tap that high very, very easily. Or they could just sell off. So we're just kind of waiting to see what's happening here. Also watch for this. If price shoots back down with the consolidation and just a real quick run below these lows there, and then if you see that and then a rejection, I would target this high here, because that was basically just a stop run and price is going to smash higher. Okay, so we'll watch for that if they even do it. But I believe that this week, whether the OPEC meetings or the news release from these this tanker blocking traffic, I think we're probably going to see a plunge higher on crude oil. What would change that stance is if we close down here below these lows on a daily. So if you see a daily candle that closes and we're going into the next day and we're below here, then I think that's it for the bullishness on crude oil, and we will probably continue to roll over, start to attack the lows under here. Okay, it's the only time I'm going to remain stay bearish is if we see a daily close here. Otherwise, I'm bullish, and I think we're going to run back above those highs. Finally, I want to talk about gold really quickly here. So as the US dollar was shooting up into that 93 level, the price on gold should have been dropping equally as low. And you can see they elected to sit price sideways all week long. And we've actually been in this range for about the past 2 trading weeks now. They're building up a pretty big position in here. So they could elect to continue to consolidate this for the rest of the week. It is NFP week. Short week, so there may not be a lot of activity in the metals, but what I'm looking for is going into next week and into April to see what they do here. I think we could have a pretty sizable move on gold now. We've got some major lows under here that they have not yet come down into, so we'll see if we get that. However, in order to get gold all the way down here, we really have to have a pretty high movement on US dollar. I'm not seeing that on dollar yet. I could be wrong. We could we could plow right up into maybe 95. I don't know. But we're not seeing the drop on gold yet. So until we start seeing gold roll over, I'm still going to remain with my same market call on US dollar. So we'll see what we get there. But so far, metals are waiting. Same thing with silver. Silver's just waiting in here. Friday had a nice quick little sell-off. I was actually hoping, I was short silver on Friday. I was hoping we would have, excuse me, not Friday, on Thursday. I was hoping we would get a run down here, but they just elected to shoot it down, and then they ran it higher and closed right in the range on the day. So we didn't get that punch lower and into this area here is what I was looking for. But still, underlying bullishness on silver. They're really not dropping price as much as you can see the difference here in gold versus silver. Silver still remains the stronger of the two metals, and I think going forward, if the US dollar does come up into this area and decide to retrace, we're going to see a big move higher on the metals, so watch for that. But until this week is over, I wouldn't be doing a whole lot past Wednesday, folks, and other than that, I would suggest you probably just move to the sidelines. There's going to be better trade opportunities next week. We'll see where price ends up at the end of this week, and I hope you have a great end of March and a great start to April here. Time's flying by, so enjoy it while it lasts. Anyway, I will leave it at that. To all my members, I will see you again, as always, New York Open tomorrow, Monday morning in the chat room. And for everybody else, you can go check us out at f45trading.com. There's a lot of great options in there for you if you are a new trader, novice trader, or even right up to an expert. I do a lot of live market trading for everybody every single day of the week, and there's a lot of value to be gained there. So if you need any help with your trading, I'm here to offer it for you. So check us out, f45trading.com. Thanks for watching, folks. Remember, hit that like button, give me some fun thumbs up, share this out to your community, and I would really appreciate that. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next Sunday.